Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me online. The relationship between China and the Arab world or the Gulf region are being taken to new heights. So, as young people, I wonder if you can share your first impression in meeting your counterparts and how has that evolved and changed since?
I could refer to a story that happened a few days before. I met a Chinese person who is actually now is one of my close friends. So we got along very quickly because he is having a PhD at KAUST and I'm having a master's in genetics at KAUST also. One of our first conversations was that I told him people are always limited by the walls they build. I'm like from the west, he's from the east, we are from very far away. The moment we came together, I saw that both of us have the same taste of food, similar music taste, share the same sports interests like in soccer, World Cup, and technology. Even our professions and majors in college. I'm in genetics and he's in AI. We are in two very different categories, and somehow we found a way to be in common. If that's possible by me and him, it will be always possible by the Chinese and Saudi community and by the Chinese and Saudi government for sure.
When you first visit China, you're a bit overwhelmed with the scale of things, especially coming from the UAE. I was fascinated by the size of things in China, by the sheer volume of things that were happening at the same time. That was absolutely fascinating to me. But something I really don't forget about Chinese youth is their commitment to education. So I really feel strongly about education and accessibility to education. But I remember visiting the Sheikh Zayed Center in, I think, Beijing, and listening to Chinese youth talk to me in perfect Arabic and discussing really old Arabic literature with me. I was blown away. And then when we went to the Shanghai International Studies University, I had a very similar experience of being spoken to in Arabic, discussing Arabic culture, whether it's from the Gulf, from Egypt, or from the Levant. This commitment to knowledge and learning from other cultures was absolutely fascinating to me. So I think that is something that stuck with me from my visits.
But I was very lucky to exposed to the diverse culture here. Surprisingly, the UAE particularly is a very diverse country where you have like people from all over the world, more than 200 countries, and that's my first impression. It's very different from what I would envision like a Muslim country would be, and I've actually got more exposure to a number of cultures here in the past 10 years. So that's something very exciting for me as a young person. And also at a very early age of your life, you get, have this kind of exposure.
So my first impressions indeed, it's quite hot on the climate. And of course the energy, which is quite famous for. But roughly I'm here around a few months ago. I can feel the inclusiveness and the diversity that Dubai and UAE in general has to offer. So in general, there are around even 70–80% of expats here working in Dubai, but they're not living in clusters. They're actually living with each one together. So it's really, in a way, a merging and melting pot. So in a way, my impression of the Arab world reminds me of where I had my undergraduate studies in Shenzhen, where we're famous for once you come to Shenzhen, you become a Shenzhen citizen. So that inclusiveness and diversity is really my impression of the Arab world.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for all your wonderful story. Let me take this conversation further and help our audience to better understand both cultures. May I ask, what stands out most to you?
There's a lot of beautiful principles in Chinese culture of humility, which really resemble the culture here in the UAE. There's a strong tie to heritage and deep respect for their roots, which is also similar to China, but at the same time, both very evolutionary and very, very futuristic countries that are always having an eye on the future and wanting to evolve in that way. But I see a lot of similarities, beautiful similarities there between the two cultures that were a pleasant surprise for me.
Collaboration has to be based on the fact that of mutual respect and in a way admiration of different cultural civilizations even. So in a way, respect builds helps to have a more open mindset and a more reliability and stability in terms of secure a sustainable collaboration between countries. So I think trust in that sense is the most important issue for mutual respect.
I saw a lot of similarities when it comes to values, and especially values of friendship and family and respect. And I think as Arabs, that is respect and honesty and integrity is something that we greatly appreciate. And I saw a lot of that in the people I met there.
We are, as countries and communities, we're taking all the opportunities we have as a strategic partners in adhering to the peaceful development path and in jointly building a community that shares the same destiny. Even regarding in like special topics like technology, robotics, AI, education, I think we all have, we are unique in our way, and you are also unique, and you are our way. You have your strong points, we have our strong points. Putting our hands together would be one of the great things and collaboration that our governments have decided to do.
Indeed, finding what we have in common while appreciating our differences is critical in promoting solidarity and cooperation for jointly building a China-Arab community of a shared future in the new era.